Today I'll be analysing the recent decline in demand for battery electric vehicles or BEVs in Australia. This presentation uses key economic frameworks including demand and supply, elasticity and market structure, using Excel-based data analysis to interpret the current market trends and to consider the implications for both policy and industry. Over the past year, the BEV market share in Australia has dropped from 7.4% in the fourth quarter of 2024 to the 6.3% in the first quarter of 2025, whilst hybrid and plug-in vehicles have gained popularity. This shift was reported by Autotalk Australia and suggests that consumers are moving away from fully electric models towards more hybrid options. This matters because BEV adoption is a key part of Australia's net zero 2050 strategy, and a sustained drop in demand could delay this emission reduction and impact future investment in EV infrastructure. The aim of this project is to analyse the reasons behind this decline and also use economic frameworks and Excel to provide evidence-based insights that could inform business and policy decisions. Looking at demand and supply, decline reflects a leftward shift in BEV demand. Consumers have become more price sensitive due to reduced government incentives and higher upfront costs compared to hybrid vehicles. At the same time, substitutes like hybrids have improved in affordability and also availability. In economic terms, this shift leads to a lower equilibrium quantity and price for BEVs, which we can visualize through a leftward shift in the demand curve. Overall, changes in consumer expectations and perceived value have reduced willingness to pay for BEVs, even as supply capacity has remained stable. Next, looking at the price elasticity of demand, the BEV market appears to be highly elastic. A relatively small change in effective price, such as reduced incentives, has produced a large fall in demand. This reflects a strong substitution effect where hybrids provide a similar benefit at a lower perceived risk or cost. In addition, the car industry in Australia operates under monopolistic competition. This means that brands compete on features and reputation rather than just price alone, intensifying the consumer response to perceived difference in convenience, range, and also reliability. Together, elasticity and market structure explains why BEV demand reacts sharply to even minor policy or cost changes. Using Excel tools, I further investigated these market trends. The summary of these statistics confirm the decline in BEV share as BEV shares fell by 1.1% points, while hybrid market share increased from 8.2% to 10.5%. When plotted in a line chart, the contrasting trends are clear. It shows that BEV sales decline whilst hybrid and plug-in sales accelerated. This reinforces the substitution hypothesis from the elasticity framework as consumers perceive greater value in hybrids and demand shifts away from battery electric vehicles. The scatter plot for BEV versus hybrid market share produced a negative correlation where R squared equaled 0.48, which indicates a moderate inverse relationship. As hybrid sales increase, BEV demand tends to decline. While not perfectly linear, this relationship suggests that market growth in hybrid vehicles partially offsets BEV adoption. In practice, this means hybrid vehicles are acting as near substitutes, absorbing customers who might otherwise have chosen a BEV if incentives or infrastructure were much stronger. Overall, looking at the analysis suggests that the decline in BEV demand is driven by a combination of factors, including reduced government incentive, limited charging infrastructure, price sensitivity, as well as market competition from the hybrid models. In order to address this, several policy responses could stabilize the BEV demand, including reinstating targeted financial incentives to offset upfront costs, expand charging networks, supporting domestic production to lower supply costs, and also educating consumers on the long-term ownership savings. Without these interventions, Australia risks falling behind other developed nations in the global transition to electric mobility. This project closely mirrored the responsibilities of a business analyst. I analyzed real market data using Excel tools to uncover insights and then applied economic frameworks to explain why the BEV demand has fallen in Australia. Throughout this process, I developed key analytical and communication skills, including evaluating data, identifying causal relationships, and presenting these findings in a visual way for decision making. These are the same competencies expected of an analyst working in business strategy or policy settings. Overall, this project not only enhanced my technical ability, but it also demonstrated my readiness to turn complex data into actionable business insights.